today's schedule. Move the pigs. We need to put away our chicken. We just butchered our last batch of meat birds. We need to put that in the freezer. And then we need to continue working on our rainwater catchment over here. We still need to finish setting up the 4x4 posts, which means we still gotta go to the hardware store and get some more concrete. Today's our weekly move with our kunikuni pigs. We've been moving them once a week. Definitely in the spring, summer. I mean, just really being consistent with it and always moving them around. We have a mowed line where the pigs are at, and we're going down this way. So that way we can put the fence as we continue to move the kunikunis, because we can't have too much overgrowth, otherwise the fence won't work properly. They'll eat this, so we'll probably could start there and come out this way and then turn. This fence can get tangled on you, and just so that way you're not frustrated, because you will get frustrated because it's going to be hot. The fence is tangled, pigs are squealing, and it's going to be a little bit much. But if you can spread it out, like set up this fence the night before, and then in the morning all you have to do is just open the door and they walk through. Or do it super early in the morning where it's not that hot out, set up the fence, take your time, and then move the pigs. Patient, Zeke, you're so patient. Now we're kind of waiting a little bit longer. We're gonna end up putting the male piglet, or one male piglet, in with Zeke, but we're waiting until he gets a little bit bigger. You know, probably definitely by winter we're gonna put them together. They knock down a lot of the grasses. They won't eat this fennel stuff. This grass they're not really eating. Get your kids, Elvira. Come on. Fresh grass. Go over there. It's so interesting to see whatever animal it is, you move them on a fresh spot of grass and see what they go for. This one's looking for the grain. Don't be lazy. We're gonna leave Zeke in this spot for a little bit longer. He still has a long ways to go. Honestly, I just think he's lazy. He'd rather just have the grain. Even though we don't feed him that much. He just has a long ways to go because it's just him in here right now. So he still has a ton of stuff to eat. A little bit longer, Zeke? A little bit longer. Oh, we gotta count them. This is day 3 of putting away our broiler chickens. We did 2 workshops last 2 days. Now that the chicken has been resting in our fridge for about 24 to 48 hours. We're not canning any of this chicken?
No, but that's not to say I can't can it later. So I think our goal today, just because we have a really busy week this week, we're just going to put it in the freezer. So if you decide later that you want to can your chicken, you can totally pull it out, thaw it, cut it up, and can it.
We do have an extra little fridge. Nothing in it. We outgrew our root cellar. So we're just gonna leave this in there, and it's kind of like our backup chickens, our extra chickens.
Ready?
Yep.
And piece them out?
Yeah, inside the house. But these ones we're just gonna weigh and then stick them in that freezer. Ew, what's that? Just do 3.7. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
What's today's date?
These chickens in this cooler were the chickens that I didn't make a trough for them, so they weren't eating out of a trough. I was just putting it on the ground. So these chickens are a little bit smaller because of that, because they were eating more grasses, more crickets. They were eating less grain, and they preferred the grass and the crickets more so than the grain.
.3. 4 pounds, 15 ounces, all literally almost 5 pounds. This is our first time doing this here in the barn, and I kind of think like, oh, this could turn into something. Hey, if we just clean up the barn a little bit more, turn it into like a little commercial kitchen, maybe we could be piecing out in here too.
Yeah. So on average, this best batch is about 4.5.
Yeah. Which is a good sized bird. That's 4.5. That's 11.
Oh, look at that ant.
This batch should be a lot bigger.
4.10.
These are the ones with the trough. So
Yeah, they're
that
big.
tells me if you're not in a hurry for your broilers to grow fast and quick, then maybe you do it that way. Maybe you don't give them a trough and you just put it on the ground. Or we could have waited maybe an extra 1 to 2 weeks to put them in the freezer, and they would have grew probably to this size.
I'm doing the small ones first, just in case my mom wants to piece out a couple of the big ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's closer.
5.10.
Yeah, it's closer to almost 6 pounds.
5.10. That's a good one. I think the biggest one we've ever done was
7 pounder.
7 pounds. Yeah.
Okay, last one. Let's see what this guy weighs. He's long. 6 pounds.
Whoa.
6.2.
Well, look at that. Depending on the size of your birds, this is about a 5 cubic freezer. That's 20 birds. And we could have fit a lot more, but these birds were small, depending on how big they are. So I would say this would fit about 25 birds. This was the very first one we bought. This is where we started with when we were only doing 25 birds.
Yeah.
And then every year you get more and more freezers until you grow out of everything.
You also get more and more birds too.
Yeah. Even though it's midday, it's the hottest part of the day. We're still gonna try to get out here. We gotta do something, even if it's just one post. We have 3 posts. We need to do 3 more here. That's the back of the shed. We're gonna save water off of that shed into that 1,000-gallon rain tank. Notice that we've had a lot of mushrooms growing, just random mushrooms growing on this. You know, that's a good thing. How we're gonna try to make this shed as square as possible. We're not building a house, so remember that. But still, you know, you want it to be level. So this putting up posts is probably the most tedious part. Because once those are up, then it gets a little bit more funner. All right. Now we're gonna measure corner to corner, and it has to be the same size. I think we found it. We believe we got it square. Well, at least the 2x4s are square. And then start drilling some holes. Watch out for rocks.
I know.
tell my father-in-law all the time, hey, you don't have to do anything. You could just sit back and drink coffee all day long. But yeah, that's not very deep at all. Want me to pour some water in there?
Yeah, we could. Try to take all this out first. Looks like it's a mixture of sand or something and clay.
We hope some of this water will loosen it up a bit. It's very compacted. A little bit of rock. This is a rock. Where are we at?
About 1 foot, 1, 2, 3, 4 inches.
1 foot 4, 5 inches.
Trying to beat the rain.
All right, so now let's.
How we look? Straight?
Well, 144, 144. Let's try our measurement again.
All right.
Okay. We cement this one in first, and then check for level on that one.
That one's in. That one's straight. Now we got to make sure this one's straight. We got some good overcast, some clouds. It's still humid. I'm like wet.
Yeah.
You just got to accept it. You got to have to accept the fact that you're going to get sweaty. All right, we got that one done. 2 posts done. And we still need to put the one in the middle here.
All right, let's make dinner. This was the chicken that we pieced out during one of the workshops. Instead of freezing it, I thought, hey, let's just turn it into dinner. I've got 2 bags of chicken marinating. This one is more like a teriyaki chicken. And then this one is the one I'm gonna use today. It's just pretty much orange juice, onion powder, garlic salt, and a little bit of chili powder to make it spicy. And that's salt and pepper, and that's it. So I'm just going to bake this in the oven. You can grill it. I think it would probably taste so much better if it was grilled, but it should cook for about 20 minutes-ish. And then the bone-in chicken might take about 35 to 40 minutes, but I'll just keep an eye on it. So this is what I'm gonna do with the sweet potatoes. I've got some smoked lard. So if you ever smoke pork, you'll just save the drippings, and the drippings make for a wonderful lard. So for the sweet potatoes, I think I'm just going to make it really simple, like salt and pepper. I could, if I wanted to, use some taco seasoning to kind of give it like a really nice spicy flavor, but I think I'm gonna stick with simple because our meat has a lot of spices and flavor. So I just didn't want like everything to be competing, and the whole entire plate of food is like really spicy. So I'm just gonna do very simple salt and pepper. All right, everything's ready. The sweet potatoes, I've already snacked on a few and they are so delicious. I love the little burnt parts in here that has that smoky flavor from the smoked lard. And then the chicken is nice and crispy. The breasts turn out nice and tender. And then we've got our onion and pinto beans here, and those look delicious as well.
All right, 100% homegrown. Just kidding.
I was like, wait. The meat is.